Commissioner's office is, well, I'm kind of stepping into some new um, roles here at the county. And so the Commissioner's office asked Open Space, Parks and Open Space with the county if they might take over this role because they're so much closer related to trails and overcrowding. And Aaron Hartnett from Open Space, our senior ranger, offered to take this group over. So I hand the baton to you. This group started when we had all the COVID overcrowding. Yes, thank you, Aaron. Um, and it's now determined that as we've kind of grown used to those crowds, as we've kind of come to anticipate that the problems and the challenges we have going into the season, such that it is, that it makes more sense for somebody who's closer to the ground. And so I really appreciate Aaron taking over this role. And then maybe Aaron, when you share, you can also talk about the new Parks and Open Space Director that was hired, because
Sure.
I'm not sure everybody knows that. I appreciate that. So again, the Commissioner's Office is kind of stepping out of this group, even though I love keeping in touch with this group going forward. And I do appreciate Aaron's stepping up and taking this over. So I think that is all I have to share from my desk. If you want to just go ahead, Aaron, you're next on the agenda.
Sure. So Aaron Hartnett with Boulder County Parks and Open Space. And it's pretty easy lift to take this over. So I thought I'd score some brownie points with our new director.
Sure.
So our new director started, gosh, in beginning of April. His name's Jason Swick. Did I say that right?
I was going to ask you. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I'm pretty sure it's Souk.
Is it
Souk?
Souk?
It's Souk, yeah.
Souk.
Okay, it's
S-E-U-C. So I'm getting used to saying that name. It's not a common one. But he's been here, I guess, like 6 weeks now, hit the ground running. He's doing a great job from what I can see, getting to know the work we do here at Open Space and getting to meet the staff. But he came up to us from the feds. He was in U.S. aid for 20 years as a diplomat working overseas on sustainability issues and helping different communities really around the world with food security and other things like that. So really great guy, gotten great feedback so far with the job he's doing. So we're excited to have him. And yeah, so I will be sending out meeting requests moving forward. I have a list of all the email addresses that are invited to this, but if there's someone missing that you want to start including from your organization, just let me know. Or if we're missing organizations that haven't been included before, give me suggestions. I was also thinking we should rename this group because it's not necessarily overcrowding is what we're talking about as much anymore. It's more of just coordinating parks and trails throughout the county. So I'll probably send out on the next invite with a new name, just so you all are aware. And then we had talked about just reducing the number of these meetings to beginning of the busy season, like mid-season check-in and end of season wrap up. Does that still sound okay to everyone? Okay, and then does Tuesday at 9 still work for everyone? Okay, great. All right, well, thanks. And then the only updates I have from Parks and Open Space is that we are working on opening a new trailhead that's coming probably, we don't have an exact date, but July timeframe is what we're thinking. It's going to be called the Kingbird Crossing Trailhead. It's at North 109th and Jasper Road, so East County. And it's going to have, for right now, one trail. It's a 2-mile trail called the Sunstride Trail, where we're going to allow bikes, equestrians, hikers, runners, but no dogs. So we'll see how that goes. And it's going to connect in with the town of Erie trails, and then eventually have a connection with the Boulder to Erie Regional Trail as well. So that's coming sometime July, I believe, if everything goes well. The trail's built, the trailhead's mostly done. We're mostly waiting on a restroom to be completed. And the other issue we're working on right now, maybe everyone else is seeing this, is having dirt bikes and motorcycles on using our trails. So we've put out message boards letting people know what we allow, which is class 1, class 2 e-bikes, and that we don't allow the dirt bikes. Mostly these are young people riding them around, having fun, building their own dirt bike tracks, which is fun, but it only takes 1 or 2 days for a really established social trail to get formed with the dirt bike. So we've had some good success making contacts and getting some of these young people in restorative justice program. So hopefully we'll get a handle on it at some point, but really it's the regional trails is what they're doing, and anything around neighborhoods and high schools is where we're seeing most of the action. So, and then I don't see Alex on the line. So we're going to start the Hesse shuttle that runs Memorial Day to usually mid-October, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and then holidays. And that's coming up on the Friday before Memorial Day. And that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Erin. If I could just jump before Andrew, I'm just going to give a quick update from Alex because he was the one that sent in the proxy, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put in the So thank you. You just announced the 2 shuttles. I put in the details. I guess there's a new Marshall Mesa trailhead. So I guess that means they're going to turn into that parking area. Maybe Burton could talk to that, but okay. Yeah, so it looks like that's the only change. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same great service that we've offered, for many years now. So again, the details are in the chat. Okay, that's all I have from CP&P. So Andrew, take it away.
Yeah, hey, the one good segue with the Hesse opening is the 4th of July will be cleared early this year. We're working on it right now. We'll have it open by Thursday afternoon is what I just heard from road maintenance. So, and otherwise that's the only update I have as far as what we're doing. But that's always open by Memorial Day, and it's going to be open 2 weeks early thanks to no snow. So, any other questions for Public Works? Dave's here. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks, Andrew.
You bet.
The 2 things that I might have mentioned were that I've recently been looking at some proposed Flagstaff Road pedestrian and trail crossing improvements that I think the city's got in the works. They've had a submittal or 2 in for our review, and I think we're open to some of those improvements happening. And I think it amounts to signage and new markings on the pavement and different things like that. And then also like at the, what is it called? The Overlook. I think some of those parking areas will have some improvements too. And I'm not really sure what the timeline is. Maybe in the next few months, could be seeing some of those things going in. And then Andrew, I'm not sure if you know the schedule for Baseline Road at Dry Creek.
I
The
do.
trailhead, I think, will be temporarily closed during that time.
Yeah, the current estimate for starting construction is now September 1, and I think it's pretty firm. So we'll definitely work with OSMP on that as it comes closer. So, yeah, it'll be a 2-month closure out there again. So
Great. Well, thank you both for that.
You
And
bet.
always appreciate the updates because a lot of those calls do filter up to the commissioner's office. So good to get ahead of that. For Denver Water, I got a update from Brandon Ransom, who can't make it today. I'll put that in the chat. But essentially, they're hoping to finish up the dam construction this summer. I also talked to my liaison there. They've got a few more feet to roll out, and then they are working on what they call their chimneys, which is sort of the 2 abutments, and finishing that off. And it's still going to take about another year for them to get all of the piping and the electrical and everything else that needs to go in there, but the actual concrete build and rolling and everything will complete by the end of the summer. So, or at least by Thanksgiving, if it goes into the fall, but they're almost done. I mean, a 7-year project. I can't believe that we're finally looking at the end of all that construction. But in the meantime, the reservoir will open as usual on Friday, May 22nd. And I guess, that traffic sometimes impacts the county, both with Walker Ranch and with Flagstaff Road sort of at the top. So if there's anything coming up around that, might be good to coordinate. And that's about it. So it shouldn't really impact from a recreation process, but they are working on a plan to open up Denver Water Recreation on the other side of the reservoir, accessible from Coal Creek Canyon, kind of where it used to be, Osprey Point. They're not building back there because that'll be underwater eventually. But they are working with the U.S. Forest Service to create a second boat launch and entry to the reservoir a couple years from now. So that's required as part of this whole project. So with that, let's move to the U.S. Forest Service. Do we have anybody on? No, maybe John?
Hey, who normally is here from the Forest Service? Paige retired, so I don't know if we have other folks who normally.
I'm looking at all the names on here. Kevin is invited, McLaughlin, who's the Boulder Ranger District.
Yeah, I've got
manager.
Lyle. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's
Lyle.
different. Lyle and Brenda.
Oh, there he is, Lyre's car. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brenda's off and on. I didn't
Yeah.
hear from any of them. I don't know what life is like over in the Forest Service right now. But again, we work closely with them on so many things. And Nick, of course, with the rec sport shooting now is adding into that and some increase. Maybe I can give a real quick update on that, because even though rec sport shooting really isn't in our public trails domain, we do the last shooting range that needs to be open to close the rest of the whole Arapahoe Roosevelt National Park, or National Forest, I guess, should be opening in Gilpin this summer. Boulder County, that means we're the last county that remains that does not have a shooting range, which means that shooting areas will be closed outside of the Boulder County district for the ARNP. So we're concerned that that's going to bring more people to our trails to do what we don't like them to do, which is shoot at trees, shoot near people, dogs, wildlife. So we're still working very hard on finding a spot. We've run into many NIMBY issues. We've run into people who don't want to sell their land. We've run into so many obstacles in terms of even securing a spot that Boulder County can purchase that meets all the requirements of being, enough distance away from the next home. We have so many, even though we have these huge forest areas, there's not a lot that meet all of our regulations around establishing the use of a sport shooting range. We've gone up and visited the one that opened up Devil's Nose up in Clear Creek. And so as we struggle, Boulder County because as soon as we open up a shooting range of our own, then we can stop dispersed shooting in all of the forested areas in the county. So that's our ultimate aim. But until we do that, we are stuck with being the only game in town coming up pretty soon here. So the pressure's on. And that's another area where we're involved with the sheriff's office, open space, and others of you that manage lands here in Boulder County. Anybody have any questions about that? A little outside of the scope of this group, but it impacts you nonetheless. All right, let's go to City of Boulder, OSMP. Burton, do you want to update?
Morning, everybody. Burton Stoner, Ranger Senior Manager, for those that don't know me. Yeah, so just building off what Dave was talking about, Flagstaff and improvements are continuing. Panorama Point's working great. a lot of good changes in use already. We've seen a decrease in those after hours fireworks complaints and all kinds of stuff going on. So that's great. And so we're bumping up to Halfway House is the next one right next to the Flagstaff House restaurant. And so that'll be the next trailhead that we're working on figuring out how to close that. It's tricky the way it's designed. So we're working on some. We'll figure out something. And so yeah, appreciate Dave. Really appreciate the coordination on that, permits and everything else that goes along with it. Working on that road. And we're using Colorado Security Services actually, because they were closing the Ranger Cottage at night, the bathrooms, and so we actually used them to actually go up and close the gates for us after hours. So it's actually been working out pretty good. It's relatively low cost for what they can help us out. So that piece is going good. I think the only thing for Flagstaff is so we'll be asking, we're having SO and PD come on up for overtime night patrols throughout the summer, back again. So whatever we're able to get up there for patrol after hours would be great. And then we're looking at, of course, the 4th of July, usual Flagstaff road closure restriction to residents only. Again, we'll be probably just plan on that's going to happen at this point, and we'll just enact. Barb, is there anything in particular that we need to do to enact that resolution that was passed, or do we just notify and just kind of get the word out a couple weeks ahead?
I think, Andrew, would you coordinate that?
I think we could. I think our traffic engineer and Dave would have to approve the memo, a road closure memo for Flagstaff Road, Dave. Yeah. So if you just get us the dates and times, we just put out Dave signs the memo and gets it out to the every agency. So
beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks. I was wondering about that. I wasn't exactly sure the mechanics of that. So cool.
And Burton, I was getting some emails from the North Shore community at the top of Flagstaff about whether it wasn't an issue this winter because we didn't have snowfall that impacted Flagstaff Road, but there's always concern that people, when there is snow that's pushed up against the side of the road, that cars start parking out into the lane, the active Flagstaff lane, in order to access trails. And I don't know if this new arrangement will help mediate that at all, or if that's more of a concern.
Not yet,
to be ticketed.
Unfortunately. Yeah, because we're starting at the bottom, working our way up, and the areas that they're most concerned about are that top end, Green Mountain, West Ridge, and so it's going to be a little bit before we get up there, but hopefully eventually.
Nice. Sounds good.
Let's see. That's Flagstaff. So Marshall Mesa is open, which is great. So there is a shuttle stop, official spot in there, so the shuttle can swing through there. And then Flatirons Vista is being renovated, and hopefully that'll be done end of May, if they can get everything done. So they're not changing much of the footprint itself, but within the footprint, they're doing a lot of good. The parking situation will be a lot better there, hopefully. So.
That's excellent. Nice to get some relief in those areas and some new trails.
Good, because I hear El Dorado Springs Drive was a mess this weekend. The classic parking from full side, all the way up and down, from past Dowdy to. So all of the areas that are signed as no parking were full. The where it's legal was full. So anyway, just put it on the radar for patrol. Jason, help.
Yeah, I was going to say, does the sheriff's office, I'm sorry I didn't include you guys as a separate line item, but do you have anything, either Nick or Jason, to talk about in terms of the activity you have to manage?
So I'll talk a few things. First, Jason Shattuck is Sergeant for Special Operations. He oversees, you know what, Jason, I'll let you talk real quick and then I'll hit that road question that Barb had.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jason Shattuck. I am the Special Operations Sergeant under Nick. And really what that means is I work a lot with parks and y'all. So as far as the parking goes, are we talking about the along 93 there?
No, this is El Dorado Springs itself.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Past fire station, all that stuff.
Yeah. It's always been problematic there, right? Those trails are excellent and a lot of people like to use them. And so they end up parking on the street and then also in front of some of the houses there, like off of La Mesa and those areas. And so um, hopefully, folks will behave themselves, but we'll see if we have to hand out some parking tickets like we do.
And on that note, Burton, I know we're, kind of pushing through the MOUs that we have, especially on Flagstaff for law as well as fire. But in the MOU for Flagstaff, it's where your rangers have authority to write parking tickets on Flagstaff. I'm going from memory. I don't remember. Do we have the same thing for down there on Eldo?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay, then is it accurate that your rangers, and I don't want this to sound bitey, but that your rangers are doing more patrol down there so they write the tickets since it's the city trails that are bringing in the folks?
Yeah. They're trying to write some of it. The problem is, of course, when it went from the old system where you could just write the paper and quickly and keep moving through, right? And so we could just spend some time, deal with it, and then hit the trails where we need to be majority of our time by having to clear everybody and set it up to that way. And then the new ticket, it just takes a lot longer. So
cool. So we won't waste everyone's time, but
yeah,
Aaron, Jason, Burton, we'll get together and talk parking and fun stuff at trailheads offline so we can work out a good solution.
That sounds great.
Sweet.
Yeah. Appreciate anything. Yeah.
Anytime.
Thanks.
So speaking of the sheriff's office, one thing is you already talked about gross, and of course Jason supervises the gross rangers that we got all three up and running and they're ready to rock on that. And where are my notes real quick? And then also Jason did a project this last year working with Boulder County Parks, putting up signs at 5 of the trailheads on the, and I'm losing it, my brain. What's the big, talk to me, Aaron.
Are you talking about the kiosks?
Kiosk, beautiful, thank you, that's the word. So we have some signs on 5 of the trailheads with kiosk with the QR code for if somebody, let's say hypothetically, gets their car broken into or whatever, gives a direct link for online reporting as well, unless of course it's an assault or something like that, right? But a lot of it can be taken care of via online reporting. So Jason's working with that, and we'd like to try to move that forward with the city. So we'll be talking to Burton and crew on getting some stuff up there as well, because our deputies are doing the criminal stuff at those trailheads, and it's a lot of work, and we need to figure out our partnership. That's all I got.
Sounds good. I was just going to ask, related to the parking thing or the shuttle stuff, especially down on Eldo, is there a way we can, or I'm just checking in on the communication plan for the shuttle, like just, is there a way to beef that up again, or kind of see what, just so people are really fully aware that, like, use the shuttle, stop trying to park everywhere.
Yeah, I will check in. I'll check back in with Alex and his group about that and what's being done to advertise it, make sure that people know that it's not just about getting into the park. It's also accessing your trails heads. And I don't have an update for you, but thanks for that reminder. I'll go back and make sure that they're going to beef that up as soon as the shuttle.
Appreciate anything at all.
Launched.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know it's that area. Ooh, constant. And I don't know. Does anyone have an update on the pool or what the water folks are doing? Because I know they were going to block access or something, or take back their private road. I don't know where that's landed. Okay. City of Longmont, Miles, do you have anything to report? Maybe about Button Rock?
So I'm Miles Churchill. I'm one of the rangers up at Button Rock Preserve. This is my first time attending this meeting, so I'm
Welcome.
kind of feeling it out today. I appreciate all the awesome information you guys have had. I really like the sounds of no shooting in Roosevelt Forest. That would be awesome for us. Just because we butt up to like Johnny Park, Colson Gulch area.
Yep.
It's always an issue with people shooting up phone boxes and trees and just anything and everything up there. So I love that if that would be a thing. But I don't have not a ton to pass on. I'm up at Button Rock, so I kind of have my little specific area up here. But we've been busy this year. So yeah, the title for this meeting seemed appropriate with the trail overcrowding, especially with after Mother's Day weekend. It was very busy, and we've seen traffic we usually see in the summertime already since pretty much February. So yeah, we're just gearing up for the busy season. But I don't really have a ton of updates to pass on. But I appreciate you guys including us and all the information you've had.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate having Longmont in the conversations with us. I don't see any. Oh, maybe John. Is that John? I just see John. Is that John Carson from Eldest Canyon State Park? Potentially, he might just be with us on phone. I don't know. I always forget this. Is it *6? Raise your hand, or *9? I'm terrible about this. John, we see you trying to get your mic off. I don't know if you're able to join us. But that's all I have in terms of, and if you are able to, just jump in. All of our standard reports, this has been super helpful. I know that used to be Memorial Day was sort of the opening of the season. Sounds like we're backing it up. Mother's Day, and even sooner. But Aaron, I guess you'll just have to set the next meeting, okay? And thank you all for keeping me in the loop all these months, and best of wishes to everybody this summer. I hope you all are able to manage the crowds and also get out and enjoy your own recreational areas because it's beautiful. Any parting words?
Thanks for all your strong leadership there, Barb, over the last couple of years. It's very appreciated. So
Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're
all
welcome.
of you. Okay, we'll get to